Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is admittedly awful, and we are back with another Supreme Commander Forged Alliance replay with the Loud mod. Get back to that Loud mod in a second because it is awesome. But we are here on Annusons, and this is round number 2. So if you haven't seen the previous video, round number 1, we did this exact same map against the AI here and lost. Technically a draw, because we set a 2-hour time limit, but we'll go ahead and call that a loss. If we can't beat the AI in 2 hours with 6v2, that's a negative on us. So this was round 2. That game was on a Friday night, and this one was on the next day on Saturday. I was not able to make it, but the team put together an effort here and sent me the replay, so we are going to watch that today and see if they can get the better of the Wireborn opponent. So as I mentioned, playing with the Loud mod, if you're unfamiliar with that, or Supreme Commander in general, it's a game actually back from 2007, believe it or not, that is still fantastic to this day. It's almost 20 years now. But it's a game of scale, so it's not your, I mean, there's definitely, some fast-paced, actions per minute kind of activity in this game. It's still an RTS, but it has a lot more depth. There's such a variety of units and strategies and tactics and techniques that you can use. It really stretches the mind of what you can do. And then it's supported by a fantastic modding community still. So the original game no longer supported, unfortunately, but you can still buy it on Steam, find it there. And there's kind of two main modding communities. There's Forgedalliance Forever, which is where you'll find the more sweaty PvP types. Not too many changes to the base game there, from my understanding. A few minor tweaks, but it just kind of is there to provide a forum and a method for people to find multiplayer games and do rankings and stuff like that. But if you are one of the masses who tend to prefer offline or even against the AI, Loud is definitely the answer for you. They've reworked the AI from the ground up and made it into quite a difficult opponent. This AI will scout you, it'll find your weaknesses, it'll find gaps in your line, it'll use every single tool at its disposal to take advantage of those weaknesses. You can see Annusons number 1 for a clinic that the AI put on and getting through my defensive lines and bringing the hurt to my team. So let's get into it here. Okay, so we have up here, looks like this time, so last game I think actually was versus UEF, so it's not a complete mirror to the first game. We got Aeon on the north and the south. Xavier and Tanksy are the AI opponents. Up here, looks like we have Axel in a beautiful Aeon white, very clean like the Aeon are, and then in not quite Barbie pink, but Dash right there, going Cybrin. In this Halloween orange is Phoenix MT, also going Aeon. Coming down here to the southern island in Royal Red, Rhaegar Ironside. Pretty sure he had this exact same position last game. In the position that I was previously is Civcorp going Aeon with a wonderful Desert Tan. And in the bottom with the mellow yellow is Andromeda going UEF. So only faction, no, actually, sorry, Civcorp was Seraphim. That was my mistake. So all the factions are represented here, which is wonderful. Hopefully we can see all sorts of units. And we already have a transport out over here from Phoenix, which is going to drop, this is at the 5-minute mark, going to drop a couple engineers there. And my mistake, I did not realize that Stash also had a factory all the way up over here. So very aggressive early play. Instead of kind of sitting back here on our islands and defending, humans are pushing up and getting very aggressive. Scouts out already from Stash. This land factory is up. He's putting up a radar. He's got protons coming out. Those are the top tier T1 unit. Loud has underneath it several and many common and ubiquitous unit mods, but Loud has taken those and integrated those and balanced them with all of the, basically with each other and then with the broader Loud suite. So they've done a fantastic job. There's not a single unit that doesn't have a role or a place. There's no single best unit, even once you get to the experimentals. Just buying or building, I should say, the biggest, largest, most expensive experimental may not actually be the most effective, just both in terms of the capabilities, but also you're getting Sprouto, the mod's creator, was explaining to me, you kind of get diminishing returns the bigger you go. So it may not be the most effective. It could be easier for your own personal micro dealing with that, but it may not actually be, mass for mass or energy for energy the most effective. So a lot of units coming out of this factory, two factories up here right now from Phoenix. So this is a very aggressive early game. Engaging some land scouts here from the Aeon AI in the north. That's Xavier. Does not look like Xavier's got too many combat troops up here to immediately contest these land factories. That is fantastic. And Axel is just pushing tanks looks like hover tanks, his Aeon, across the water to come over here and support. Any of this action happening on the southern islands does not appear so. Southern AI already has got naval factories up in the water, and does not appear to be any naval factories on the human side. But let's keep an eye on this northern action right here. Only a couple units, those protons take a while to build, but only a couple of them out so far. Definitely a lot coming out from Phoenix down here. He is swarming. He's got anti-air, he's got, what else we got here? Some flares, light assault bots, so this Aeon in the north is going to have his hands full. We'll see what happens down here in the south now. Chariot in the south coming to drop engineer off there on some of those mass points. Again, another one of those changes that Loud has done is the sea is not just there to be a accessory to the land. They've actually, in almost all the maps that have water, put mass points in the water. So the water is worth contesting, not just for your land support, but also because there's a fair amount of resources there. Looks like AI is starting to get a decent amount of units out over here to contest this push. T2 units out already. Blaze at the 9-minute mark. And yeah, starting to contest that. We got some assault walkers, tanks. That's T1's really just kind of a mass for mass kind of trade. Now there are some T2 units over here, but Axel's forces are making it across down here in the south. Looks like trying to get some air coverage up from Rhaegar. He's got a fighter support coming up here to the north to kind of support. That will probably be necessary because I could see Loud instantly switching over to, my gunships at the tier 1 level, but tier 2 gunships to kind of try and counter this push if he's not making a headway on the ground. Over here in the south, yeah, still pushing up some air from Rhaegar, trying to just, contest in his territory, see if we can get going there. And the stream of tanks still coming across, and looks like AI has stymied this push for now. No side's really getting a better handle than the other, but well, I should say, Phoenix has got what looks like a superiority in terms of number of forces. Over here, there are T2 units pushing up, though, so these 2 units, they're coming one at a time, are going to be in a little bit of trouble, but may be able to swarm them. Looks like Stash is moving up to support. Victory here with Phoenix is, when that small engagement at least is achieved. However, there are some T2 units coming up from the southern side to kind of try and flank. Still no major push here in the south, though. It looks like Tanksy has either crossed with some hover units and is attacking onto Andromeda. So a little bit of back and forth action here very early on between southern AI pushing across to their island and then northern humans pushing across to their opposing islands. Phoenix is pushing, it looks like, down higher south, trying to attack towards this land factory. Forces seem evenly matched, more towards the northern side. They have cleared out those Tech 2 tanks, got that under control. See what's going on down here. No defenses yet from the humans to try to stop this assault. However, some T2 light assault tanks being pushed out from Andromeda to try to counter that. Air control still seems to be in Rhaegar's hands, who seems to be handling that with a little bit of support from Civ Corp. And falling back here, though, they do have a significant amount of forces. AI dropping a couple units there, but those are pretty damaged. I do not think that's going to win. Has gotten up a naval factory, but resources probably could be spent better elsewhere. We got out here just some land scouts. Fight here in the south. Light assault tanks are trying to hold these units off. There are a decent number of them coming out, so they should win that engagement over time. Fight in the north is continuing. Pushing up, taking out a T3 max extractor. That is going to be an excellent use of resources. A lot of investment into that the AI had made, so that will be a setback to be sure. Southern Island is not getting pressured at all. Got some T2 bombers out here, more transports coming across. This push looks like it's being dealt with, however, there's a smaller push coming here to the south. He's pushing these tanks down here to deal with that. Up here in the north, Phoenix has got a lot of units out. He's coming south, middle, north. Well, north is looks like Stash and Axel out there handling that, but they are keeping this AI on the back foot, and he is getting pretty penned back in here. They're able to push through this and take out some of these mass extractors. That could be a very quick, that's all she wrote for Xavier, the AI in the north. Trying to see if there's anything else exciting going on here. Some more transports coming in. Starting to get a nice little aeronaut up down here. Stash still pushing some fighters out, but it looks like Loud is starting to get some fighters of his own. Some T2s up over here. Stash is splitting his air coverage, so he may need to consolidate that. For now, it looks like those are just kind of getting thrown away down there, feeding some veterancy. Posh is coming from Phoenix in the north already. dealing with these units right here very quickly, very short order. Some planes landing there from Stash. Don't want those just sitting on the ground. Try to get those up and moving. Yeah, this push looks like it's going to be able to take out those base. And we got some T2 anti-air coming in. Just another drop over here. That's bringing some hurt. Ooh, putting up a fight in the north, that's for sure. But he's losing his southern base here. That is probably going to go down very quickly. There's not much there in the way of defenses and overwhelming numbers of T1 units. And some T2 coming out from Phoenix already. Stash is falling back in the north. No more units from Axel. He's got to get some more units across to support Stash there, because Stash only has this one factory online that is upgrading T2, and there's nothing else coming out. So Loud pushes down there. He could be in trouble, but Loud himself is about to lose his T2 land factory down here as Phoenix is overrunning it. Checking on the southern islands. Oh man, Tanksy is in the middle of Andromeda's base. That is not good. Not good at all. Is there any support? T1 bomber coming out down here. Some land units pushing over here, but these T2 units, no, well, yeah, some T2 shield generators in there. Oof, Andromeda's in trouble. He's bringing his light assault tanks back to try to deal with this, but that is going to be a setback to be sure. Nothing quite changing in the north yet. Xavier putting up a solid fight still. Mostly T1 units coming out to support, but he's kind of trying to take back this northern section first, letting the southern side fall. Maybe a bit of a mistake if Phoenix is able to get back here and take out some of these mass extractors, but keep an eye on what's going on down here. Oof, losing some mass extractors. Yeah, he's got to get these tanks over there. He doesn't have too many of them left, and he's lost all of his land factories, so that is going to be a problem for Andromeda down here in the south. T1 spam coming in over here against Tanksy's little thing, but he's got shield generators online, although Andromeda is using his commander as a combat commander here, trying to get some additional fire support, especially with these shield generators here, trying to get that going. But is losing some more mass extractors back in his base. Keep an eye up here in the north. Axel has pushed another force across to assist Stash here with dealing with these forces, and looks like there is a preponderance of forces of T1 to be able to deal with the mixed T1, T2 force there. Phoenix has defeated this force in the south, and we'll see if he pushes up, destroys his mass, or he just goes straight for the main base. Down here in the south, and it is still a painful situation for Andromeda. Losing his main base there. Needs to move these T2 tanks up here to deal with this. Commander is, and some of these units out from Civ Corp have dealt with this northern one, but there are still quite a few. Ooh, and some of these T2 amphibious assault bots are kind of like T2.5 units, so those are going to be pretty painful to deal with. Fight in the north has, what do we got going here? Putting some T2 point defenses online, trying to pen him in, so it looks like they're just going to hold this pass here for the moment. Maybe do the northern push right here. On the naval front, nothing too exciting happening yet. Some T1 subs out from Xavier in the north. Those may not be the most useful. We got a little flotilla right here, T2 flotilla out from Tanksy in the south. He is putting the hurt down on Andromeda's southern base. Oh my goodness. More T1 spam coming out from Civ to try to support. It's going to be hard against those 2.5 bots, though. Going to be in trouble. What do we got going on in the north? Looks like Axel's pushing a little more aggressively with some support from Phoenix coming up, going for these mass extractors over here. And, ooh, man, I hope. Where is... Andromeda's moving his commander back to support, so that may be enough firepower to deal with the remainder of the units, but looks like more transports are coming across with more units. So Andromeda, again, feeling the pain very early on. T3 engineer out from Xavier in the north already, so he's already starting to get up to the T3 level. Pushing out many more T2 units. What do we got for T2? Starting to get some T2 here down. Oh, those are, yeah, T2 shield generators out from Phoenix, so good pressure in the north. But Andromeda continues to be pressured in the south. Naval game-wise, it appears that naval dominance is basically completely established by the Loud AI, but they have got bigger problems because Xavier is under heavy pressure, losing some more mass extractors here, it looks like. Though his compatriot, Tanksy, is still trying to apply pressure. Did not see where those transports landed. Are these the same transports? Oh, they probably died to this fighter swarm right here. Should realize that. So, Rhaegar has, yes, consolidated his fighters right here to try to stop these transports from getting across. Andromeda getting his base back online as these units fall back to a more advantageous position if they can find one. See what's going on up here in the north. Starting to get a large amount of forces built up here. Axel's got another push has come across, reinforcement wave. taking out these mass extractors in the south. Looks like Tanksy is actually pushing up some units to try to help his friend up here in the north, especially since those transports can't get through down here in the south. So we'll see how well that goes. Though it's getting a little smarter, starting to push some hover units across the channel. Here's this right here. So these units have been cornered by this T1 spam. Andromeda is building factories, though. We'll see if these units are able to break through. Looks like, yes, that is enough DPS that they should bring down these units right here. So that will be some relief on the pressure on the southern island for the humans. In the north, looks like either these were dropped right here or are just there to defend against that push from Phoenix. Not a lot of pressure being applied yet. Looks like they're just kind of developing, building up forces. Maybe pushing down here to deal with some of these southern things, but looks like Tanksy has dropped a decent force there, so gotta keep an eye out for that. Amphibious force is here, ready to come ashore. Could definitely, bring the pain. Starting to get some, or these defenses were online already. If they push through with these, they could have a little more pain because there's not a lot here in defense. But it looks like CivCorp is pushing out a lot more T1 spam, little T2 mixed in there as well to assist. Rhaegar is handling air coverage here with a little support from CivCorp as well. So that southern island looks like it's going to be well defended from any air attack. In the north, Stash has a little air up over his base right here to prevent any bomber spam from coming through. And things, though, have kind of slowed down a bit. I mean, Phoenix is trying to push down, deal with these mass ejectors. They got to watch for this this push coming up here towards these factories. A little concerning. And look, appears they have either retaken or Phoenix fell back from these mass points over here. Let's see what happens there. T3 strat bomber out up here in the north. So Loud is at the almost 25-minute mark, pushing out T3 units to try to assault. This little amphibious platoon being taken out by some T1 bombers down here in the south. Good defensive play. And it appears the southern humans have managed to take back control of their island here in the south. Hopping back up here to the north. Loud pushing out some air, but not enough to do anything with. Trying to figure out what that strat bomber with did anything. Might have been taken out by static anti-air. Making a small counterattack here with some artillery. Shield generator took a bit of a pounding, but that could have been from that strat bomber. And Tanksy is pushing up, trying to attack this factory right here, or this cluster of factories. Yeah, 4 factories right there with not a lot of defenses around them. So got to be very careful because that could be a bit painful, though being chased by Phoenix down here from the south, they gotta move some of these units back if they want to deal with that. Engaging over here on the right, we'll see who comes out on top with that. Balance forces looks fairly evenly matched, though looks like it's going Phoenix's way, possibly. Nothing happening in the south yet, does not appear so. Naval dominance still in the AI's hands. Looks like Axel is dropping more units via transport this time, so those get over there a little bit quicker. And AI got a little distracted here with some of these fighters landing on the ground, which may give Phoenix enough time to rally back and defend those factories. So good for him. That is a stroke of luck. More units trying to push down here, but again, not in sufficient quantities to do anything. Northern push is kind of stalled for the moment. Got some T3 mobile defense unit. Attack missile defense, but super useful for the moment. Southern islands are well defended, though amphibious stuff coming up from under the water. What we got going over here? Little cluster of units there. Looks like navally they're trying to take on some of these mass extractors the humans have in the water, which, again, if you have naval dominance, definitely do it. They are, again, Loud is trying to counter by pushing against these factories over here, and that is drawing some of these units back, though they are still applying the pressure to these mass extractors over here. And they're getting some factories up down here as well, so that will be beneficial. So instead of just attacking out from the main base, they can attack this southern flank, keep things a wider front there. In the south, transport's not making it through. Some air trying to engage. So if these ones come across, escorting this transport right here, we'll see if that actually is an effective method of doing that. Subfleet out right here, T1 attack subs. Again, yeah, just they allowed us trying to maintain naval dominance where it can. In the north, this fight's still ongoing, kind of a back and forth. These units, surprisingly, not pushing out, but it looks like Phoenix is rallying a platoon down here in defense, and that should be sufficient to, yeah, deal with the remaining units right there. Air battle underway, and it was enough for these transports to get some units through, though there's a hefty amount of defensive forces right now from both Civ Corp and Andromeda. I do not think that will be enough for those to get through on the southern side. In the north, some heftier platoons getting built up over here. T3 units are starting to drop. Got some Harbingers there. Not enough, it seems, to deal with that amount of units that Phoenix has. I'm surprised they haven't tried to push up. That's not really a decent fire, but I'm surprised they haven't tried to push up and apply a little more pressure to his main base. It's allowing them to kind of build the southern base right here and push up. Keep him off these mass extractors though, and that is important because it will crimp his resource production. Cloud probably shouldn't be spending too much, at least the northern one, on his naval force. I mean, they have naval dominance, but probably not super useful. And yeah, these units are going to get pushed off here in the south pretty quickly. Is there anything else of super important note? Does not appear so. Keep an eye on these units here as the spam from Civ Corp, as well as some T2 units bits in there, clears off these little raiding party from Tanksy. Yeah, that's going down pretty quick. I must say, you know, for being a 2007 game, Supreme Commander still looks incredibly beautiful. Especially once you get a little free camera action there. Amazing how games from that time period still hold up so well. Makes me wonder what they're doing these days with game design. And they oftentimes look good, but don't have much beyond that. So, still T2 units spam out there from the humans, but that has been enough to defend this foothold that they have right here, which they are kind of just holding on to right now, not applying too much more pressure yet. Yeah, again, naval dominance is completely in Loud's hands, taking out some of these mass extractors. Rhaegar has a lot of air covering this channel right here, but gotta be careful because some of this naval anti-air could start to apply, yeah, some attrition on those forces. Amphibious bots coming ashore, mostly just T2, and it does not seem like it's going to be enough to break through those beach defenses, especially given that there's some... I'm sure I saw like an Ilshabah in here somewhere. Yeah. T2 units, decent T2 units there on the human side defending. Little platoon going to try and come ashore over here, but again, there's just a lot of human line defenses going over here. Push coming up here, T3 push. Siege mechs, these are like T3.5, but they are struggling with this kind of... Wow, you did not have to fall back there. They were kind of struggling with some of this terrain issue right here, but appears that's not going to change anything yet. Okay, they're pushing up, it looks like. Very sizable defensive platoon over here of the T2 variety. May need to rally that down here because this is a decent T3 pushing up here. Yeah, these T3 mechs are kind of like T3.5, so you got to be very careful with those. They can apply a lot of pain if needed. Looks like Loud is retaking these mass points over here with a T3-4, so keep an eye on that. Is anything else interesting going on down here in the south? It's not appear so at the moment. A little counter push coming here. Holding them off for the moment. Some heavy hover tanks there as well. Gunships in there as well, so restorers, T3 gunship, so those are going to help a little bit of pain as well. It's like Northern AI has managed to at least stabilize his lines right here. He's trying to take back some of these mass points and still pushing out T3, so pretty impressive. And so when we played on Friday, we played with so difficulty in Loud is kind of, it's not like just AIX, whatever. It's, you can actually set an actual modifier. So 1.0 is standard. So we played with two 1.2s, and one of the things Sprouto explained to me is that it's not just like a linear, like, oh, 1.2 is getting 20% more resources. It's much more nuanced, because one of the things that Loud is really about is performance, especially late game performance. I mean, you can see here, we're at +2 sim speed with almost 3,000 units, no slowdown, and you can get late game with 6,000 units and no slowdown. But one of the things they did was, what they wanted was, instead of just spamming more units, make Loud smarter, right? Like, so you'll see he consolidates his groups and platoons instead of sending them one at a time. So here, just not enough to push through all these human players. But it also means they don't just give him straight resource bonuses, right? So some of the bonuses may be, from 1.15 to 1.2, he just gets a 3% bonus to his unit's health. So that helps with performance, But it also still makes it feel like, you as the human playing against it, you're like, oh, this still feels more difficult. I can't quite put my finger on it. It doesn't appear he has more units, but it just feels like a tougher fight. So it's a nuanced way of increasing the difficulty, but at the same time, also maintaining performance. So humans trying to push through this little gap right here down toward these factories. We'll keep an eye on that. That is a solid defensive line, though. T3 mixed with some T1 in there for the AI, but that is a large swarm of T1 and T2 coming down. Holding them off for the moment. Looks like another Harbinger coming out right here. Starting to get it traded down. Oh, that balance of forces does not appear like it's going the human's way, especially with some more of these units coming online. Yeah, these T3 siege mechs they got a T2 point defense, but that's taking some fire. A couple of these Harbingers with their shields. Oh yeah, that is not going to be effective. Air battle underway. Loud is pushing up, trying to contest air with Stash. Fighting over friendly AA for the humans, though, but looks like these are T3 air superiority fighters and just some T2 and T1 fighters on the human side. So Loud is putting up a strong defensive effort. Again, trying to do something similar down here in the south. Either trying to put a gap in the line so these transports can get through. Human gunships there as well. But southern defenses appear to be holding. North is where the action appears to be. So not gunships, these air superiority fighters drove off some of these fighters, but they fell back over some friendly defenses. So it kind of looks like a mixed bag right now, but a lot more coming up right here. See, those transports are able to land. They have that fighter support, but this is a decent defensive platoon back there for the humans. Again, nothing here in the south. Seems like they're kind of slow. I was trying to draw some of these fighters in and fight them because they're on this patrol route, and that seems to be going pretty effectively. He's able to draw just a few of them in at a time and fight them with a superior force. So good micro from Loud right there. Push coming right here, dropped in with a little support platoon coming up, but does not appear like it's going to be enough to push through that defensive force right there. Air combat still ongoing. Looks like it's going Loud's way for the moment. Looks like Stash is making a push up here in the north, trying to get either of these units down. Oh, he's coming up. He's going up from behind him, so he's got to be careful. This is mostly just a T1 spam, so I don't know if that's going to go Stash's way. It looked promising for a second, but once I saw the kind of breakdown, the composition of those forces, not quite as good. Again, Southern Island well defended, trying to pick off some of these fighters as they, get close here, lure them out to get engaged over the ocean. Anything else? Again, Loud still has naval control. Hasn't used it to too much effect yet. Oh wow, I didn't even see this back here. Wow. Okay, so Xavier, well, despite having his own island under pressure, has managed to drop some engineers in the backfield of Phoenix and do the reverse to him. Again, this is a AI, right? This is the computer fighting us, and has managed to basically sneak through and apply some pressure in the backfield here to this other island over here. So we'll see how that goes, because he is taking back some of these mass points. So humans are feeling the pressure. He's getting a lot of help from Tanksy down here in the south, and I think that's why the southern island is not feeling as much pressure, is because Tanksy has been doing a great job bringing up resources here to kind of help. And look at that right there, a little mixed T2, T3 drop on the space right here for Stash, and that is going down. These guys are getting pushed back towards their beachhead, and AI has not done too much yet with dealing with kind of this. I don't even know if they know about it. Let's see if they can. No, I can't even click on that. No, interesting. Click on. Thanks. They do not know about this base back here. That is interesting. All right. No, I can't see team view. That's interesting. So humans are struggling with their offensive push over here. Southern Island is well defended, so we'll see if they can get some offense out, kind of apply some pressure to assist. Amphibious units sneaking through right here, maybe coming ashore over here, applying some more pressure that way. And again, yeah, Loud is just doing a great job of trying to engage some of these air units down here in a effective manner, though that may have been the less effective. Those are all T1 air for the humans, though, so may end up going his way. We'll see. And he's got a T3 push coming here in the center. There's a lot of units here, but these guys don't realize, yeah, losing some mass extractors there. Again, they haven't. Oh, we're bringing. Is that a support commander he's bringing in here? Oh man, that's gonna be interesting. We'll see how that goes. Because again, I do not think they realize what is happening over there. Air battle ongoing. Again, they're just kind of luring out some of these. Yeah, he's got a lot of air there, so just trying to lure some of these fighters out over here. Looks like Rhaegar's maybe pushing some air units down to kind of assist with that air battle. Fight going on up here. They should have brought. Axel should have brought his units down to support because these units just kind of spread out, so these units may be able to deal with it. But taking some attrition for sure. Also, that's why Axel have a fight going on here. You got a solid T3 force right there to fight against that. And we'll see if anything comes from this over here, if they kind of build up a force and start attacking. No major change in the balanced forces in the south. Transports are trying to do something. See if they get those ashore. Yeah, these guys fell back, but he's got some more units coming up there to support. Victory of sorts there, keeping them off those mass points, which is great. Getting these mass points back up on the line with some defenses around them, looks like. And again, Loud has done a great job holding this line, and again, getting a little aggressive over here. It's going to be interesting to see if that goes. Those transports get through down here. It does not appear so. Air battle on go. Looks like he's, again, this happened in game one to me. He slowly is whittling through these air defenses down here, and he's going to take advantage of it at some point to push some units through if he's able to get that under control. Just want to check if they've seen that base there. Oh, okay, so they have seen some of these units over here. Oh, Siege Mech has gotten online and has managed to sneak some units up through the south right here. I don't know how he managed to get that, but took out a T3 mass extractor, it appears. And another push coming up here. Xavier is applying pressure. Humans are holding their beachhead for the moment. Does not appear they've done anything. Oh, coming ashore over here. Does not appear they've done anything to counter this base that is being built over here. Quantum Gateway online as well, so that's going to be bringing in a decent amount of units for sure. Alright, that platoon has been dealt with. Is there anything else of note? Does not appear so. A lot of land defenses down here, so even if they manage to get a gap in that line, it's going to be a difficult sledding. Here we got right here. T2 gunships coming in to deal with this base in the backfield. We will see if that is effective. Phoenix providing air cover just in case. Danksy has built a experimental unit. We'll see if we can find that. Pops up anywhere on the unit icons. I'm not seeing it. Well, let's see how this gunships. Was there too much AA down here for them to deal with? Let's see what happens there. Okay, they're rallying to defend that base right there. These lines are holding still for the moment. Naval Force offshore is applying some shore bombardment, but there's a lot of mobile missile launchers that attack them. Oh, these do have attack missile defense. So a little offshore bombardment coming there. Looks like some gunships are supporting. A lot of mobile missile launchers, tactical missile defense, or defense. So these TMLs are not putting a lot of fire on those destroyers at the very least, though. Gunships coming in support. Offshore fire coming in one at a time. It's not going well for them. Anti-air also on some of these ships, I think. Oh, actually not on these Aeon ones, so unless they get some more anti-air over there, that's going to be difficult to deal with. This base is fighting the gunships. Looks like the gunships are kind of handling it on their own, but the rest of the units should be able to support it, so that will not go the AI's way. Check on this naval fight down here. Still holding for the moment. If only he had some anti-air, got some of these fighters over here to kind of defend against that. T2 amphibious platoon coming ashore in the south. So AI is still applying pressure despite having pressure applied to himself. We've got over here some T3 units just kind of hanging out. This base has actually managed to hold. They shoot out all those gunships. That is crazy. Gateway went down. T3 land factory still online though. Is dropping in there or just stopping? Got some spy planes there to defend. Still got his support command unit. Looks like this base took a little fire as well in the process. And that's kind of the thing is that, Loud has naval dominance, so he's able to just push some amphibious units across, like right here, you can see the siege mechs, and just target some of these things over here, despite being under pressure. So he's able to micro much more effectively. We're getting on the southern island. Little amphibious platoon came ashore. T2 defending against some T3s, it appears. Don't know if they'll actually win that. That's, tactical missile defenses. Looks like this fleet ended up getting sunk down here. A lot of units just defending, so, and especially with those gunships. Wasn't too much they could do against that. These guys are just, I would say, sitting back and getting wailed on, but he's gonna come up and deal with that. T1's coming down to try and support. Bombers rallying. Looks like up here, got a human push coming in to try and deal with this once and for all with some gunships and support. T2, T3 units in defense, but T3 units coming, loyalists. Should, I think, this time be enough to take that out. See what's going on in this foothold over here. Looks like they've got a push finally going on the northern side. We'll keep an eye on that. These units are causing a lot of problems down here, and that is for sure. Just kind of throwing some T1, a little T2 spam mixed at these T3 units, but does not appear effective enough. Again, starting to get a bit of a hole, what appears to be a hole in the airline right here. Keep an eye on that. This base has been overrun. Yep, that's going to go down. Push. Well, only pushed up, destroyed a little bit of stuff, and then kind of fell back down. And these T3 units are still pushing up pretty effectively over here. Transports here, dropping some stuff. Hover units. Yeah, that base in the backfield is dead. Nothing major happening with this forward position for the moment, so most of the action still happening down here. His T3 units are just rolling around, well, losing some of them. And applying pain. Gunships coming in to assist. And that'll probably be the end for that. That little push right there. Axel has built an experimental unit. Axel, what'd you build? Did you build that over here or did you build that over there? Seems like it was over here. Ah, there it is. Maruda. Got another one coming online. So a couple of those low-level experimental attack assault bots. And things appear stable for the moment. Again, they're managing to hold. It looks like Andromeda's got some air up as well to assist. So despite, I'm trying to figure out, may have actually been Rhaegar's air that kind of got it tritted down quite a bit. Because now it's starting to be some gaps right there. And yeah, and that appears so because Tanksy has managed to drop some units there. Axel building, that's that second one he's built over there. But they dealt with the base in the backfield, so good on them. And here to see how those units offshore there. Gunships dealing with that. But there are some restorer gunships, so those gunships have to be careful. Any large pushes coming up here? No, but they're got a sizable defensive position still ongoing. Trying to take advantage of this gap in the airline right here. Seems as if some more transports coming down, trying to land. Yeah, those restorers are there trying to deal with those gunships. Gotta be careful. Decent air swarm there. So Southern Air seems to be holding. They got these beaches held pretty well. Up here in the north. T3, I don't know if it's a push. Oh, well, it's a drop right there behind these loyalists. So loyalists are holding. Gonna take some long-range fire. Fight going on here in the middle, though does not think the guy's going to win that, so he's going to pull back. And again, that's one of the things the Loud AI will do, right? Like, well, it's got this massive unit here. Is, if you can see it right here, if he thinks the balance forces is going against him and he can get away, he will try and husband his resources and fall back. So, still trying to get some units ashore over here, looks like. Managed to stall that little foothold there from the AI. A lot of T3 units over here, though. So these guys aren't going to get too far out. So stable there, stable there. So yeah, things are kind of stable for the moment. Looks like with 4,000 units, I try to increase the gain, so we're stable at +2. It's about the max we can do. But again, with almost 4,500 units, that's pretty good. Civ Corp, experimental online. Is that in his backfield? Was that farther forward? Let's see if we can find that. Not seeing it. On gateway. I'm sure it'll turn up if it's important. Oh my. Wraith's just here in the middle of Phoenix's base, so Xavier not just sitting back and defending, he is doing his level best to apply pressure of his own. Tanksy got an experimental online. See if we can find that where it is. Not seeing it up there. Let's move it down here. Got a lot of support commanders down there. Push coming there in the south. Some units have managed to get ashore over here from Tanksy. Keep an eye on those. Applying pressure over here. Little push coming here. There's a decent amount of defensive units. Yeah, it's those are torp bombers, so that's not going to be helpful. See if that push makes any headway. This assault up here is going to run into some static defenses and a lot of units. I don't think that's going to get through. These guys are just kind of skirmishing up here, though. It looks like Loud is pushing up. I don't know if you want to push your Serenities that far forward into range. Yeah, there he's pulling them back a little bit. I said that wasn't probably the best of choices. So, but again, Loud is smart enough to realize that. This fight is ongoing here. A lot of defenses there. Oh, this is a T3, sizable T3 platoon. Shields are going down. They're definitely applying a lot of pressure. So we can get. They haven't really taken out some of these defenses though. Taking out some of the units. More T3 units coming down from Phoenix to counterattack, and yeah, it's going to drive Loud back. Alright. Down here in the south, this push is taking a counterattack from a combination of Civ Corp and Andromeda. There's a lot of units there, so that should be enough to deal. There's not a ton of DPS producing units here. Mostly a bunch of shields. Don't think it's going to be enough. So they're starting to lose air coverage, so that is going to be a problem. Because Loud is going to keep dropping units. Fight is ongoing. More units coming in to be dropped, appears. And he's going to drop some more units right there. Gonna be a problem. So it looks like those are going to take a lot of missile fire, go down very quickly. So they're able to hold the beachhead for now, but more units coming in. Definitely getting pressure applied to them for sure. And it's still stable up here in the north, nothing too major happening. Another push coming up. Northern Ireland is, well, some units being dropped here. Let me get those off before he dies. Hover tanks. So pressure still being applied in the north, but not to major effect. Transports aren't making it through yet. And building up a sizable amount of units up here. Sizable amount of units defending. Trying to make an assault on this position, but that's a lot of human units in defense, as well as those static defenses behind those shield generators, so probably not going to get through. Now the humans are just going to push forward and be a little more aggressive because they have the weight of the numbers. And the composition-wise, looks like a lot of T3 there is for the humans as well. Trying to assault through the water, but not getting anywhere because that beach is well defended. Air coverage has been lost in a lot of ways for the humans, so we'll see if we see Loud take a little more advantage of that than he has previously. Loud still has naval dominance. He's got all the mass extractors that are active in the water and taking out the rest of them. So this push may be coming here finally in the north. We'll see how that goes. Restorers coming in early, but they're gonna taken down by all that flak, so it's not effective for it. But those Serenities are gonna put some fire on those anti-air launchers. So these guys may need to push up to deal with those Serenities. Yeah, nothing too crazy happening in the south, other than looks like Rhaegar's starting to get some air coverage back up again. See if that is effective. And the Serenities are applying pressure, artillery pressure, but Phoenix is coming up to try to do a little counterattack, it appears. I want to use some Tanksy down here. Tanksy attempting to do a very aggressive drop again, right in the middle of all these guys. That's a decent amount of units, and they got ashore. T1, T2 platoon, so we'll take a lot of damage, but there are a lot of tactical missile launchers up there. Oh, he's dropping some guys right there. Looks like building up for push in the north. Keep an eye on this fight down here. It's unclear that they're able to hold air coverage or gain air superiority. Oh, so those torpedo bombers getting caught by these fighters. Not good, not good. See if they end up pushing into the space over here. What did Axel do with his? Just hanging out in defense. His Team Maruda's just hanging out there. Supposed to be useful for pushing through over there, that's for sure. So what was a very strong early game assault by the humans has stalled. Very good defense was put up by the AI. If I do say so myself, they have managed to hold this line quite well while applying pressure to the backfield, maintaining naval superiority, which makes it difficult, allows them to attack via the sea with some amphibious units, and putting a good contest for air control. Anything of nukes? Don't see anything right now. So we have dropped to +1 sim speed as we approach the 5,000 unit mark, but again, that's +1 still, so we're not even going at normal sim speed, we're slightly more advanced. So that, again, impressive. Credit to the Loud team during this kind of slow period of the game. So yeah, so I mentioned this game was the redux of a game done last Friday night. This one was done on Saturday night, and that is when the Loud team has its scheduled multiplayer game. So every Friday and Saturday night from 10 p.m. Eastern till when it finishes, essentially. And it's a great crowd. Everyone is welcome. Just hop in right at 10 p.m. We usually have, last time we had multiple games up, so always will make space for everyone who shows up to have a good time. So link to Loud mod is down in the description. So with that, you can download the mod itself, the launcher. From the launcher is the link to the Discord, so you can hop on there. Very friendly group of people. If you're having trouble getting Supreme Commander or Loud installed and up and running, just post down there on the bug reports or the help me, and people will absolutely help you out. I had troubles getting this game online originally because it's so old. It doesn't interface well with new Windows and OneDrive and surround sound and sorts of things. So they helped me out. They will definitely help you out as well. So if you want to join in, be part of this, 6v2 against the AI and enjoy this struggle and maybe hopefully bring the team out more than I do, yeah, hop on every Friday or Saturday night from 10 p.m. And again, and also people are oftentimes just shout out in the chat that they're looking for someone to play a game with. So if that is of interest to you, yeah, hop on there and have a good time with them and with us. You might see me around. I try and get in there when I can. Game-wise, things, again, very slow for the moment. Not seeing anything of major... Oh, here's an experimental down here. Oh, he's got a King Crafter just wandering around. Let's see what he ends up doing with that. That could make a hole in that beachhead over there, that's for sure. Something died. Rhaegar Ironside has built an experimental, and it is a sniper bot. guys, I'm not doing much over here still, so I'm just kind of sitting back and building various stuff, but nothing too heavy. This one has a large air platoon right there. I figure out what he's doing with his navy. Looks like it's still mostly T2 that he's got. Air defenses seem to be holding, though a little thin. Loud does decide he wants to be a little more aggressive. Air defenses in the north holding as well. Looks like Xavier's got a fair amount of, air superiority fighters rolling around. I'll figure out where he had built some experimentals, or I'd gotten notifications, so I'm trying to figure out where/what he had built. Not seeing it there. Not seeing it there. And not seeing it down there, unless he built something naval-wise. Oh, they got a lot of ships there. Could use those probably pretty effectively to do some shore bombardment or something over here. Gunships, restorers, putting a hole there against those fighters. Transport, trying to get some stuff ashore. A lot of gunships here out from Rhaegar, so anything that comes ashore like that will quickly be dealt with. Gunship platoon there. No assaults really on the northern island since that base kind of got taken out, though actually there's a support commander on a transport right there. Curious where they're going to go with that. It's going to go into the dustbin. So it is taken out. A lot of fighters clustered right there. Restorers are mobile anti-air defense. I didn't even know those. Wow, I was like, is that flying? Like the restorers are their own gunships. They are coming in and doing something. I don't know where they're trying to go there. That'll be the most effective use of resources. And still trying to get ahead. Oh, what do we got down here? Experimental. Light assault tank. Nothing too aggressive happening. That is a lot of units clustered there. Transport was trying to drop something. Swarm of engineers pushing south here from Phoenix. Alright, slow middle game, that's for sure. Maybe trying to, again, keep this hole open here in the air defenses. Gunships did manage to take out that mass extractor right there. Sizable bases built up over there. Oh, this push is sort of happening one way or the other. Not really sure who's pushing who. It's like Loud pushed down a few units, but Axel pushed up some more. Artillery coming in. Pathfinding's running into some issues here, trying to get through this massive units and then going through that little gap right there, so struggling with that assault. It's allowing Phoenix to come up here and support him. Air battle underway down here, but over human AA, so I think that's going to go the humans' way, if not be a draw. And this fight up here. One Obsidian coming out by himself. And we've got a Monkey Lord coming from Stash. So that'll be exciting. We always love good Monkey Lord. Love that heavy microwave laser. And looks like that air battle was won in the south, so nothing else of note going on down there. So this Monkey Lord ends up doing over here. It's got that stealth, so AI probably does not know that it's there. Yeah. That will be a fun surprise for them. And looks like Phoenix is now going to push onto these mass points over here, try and retake those. Sizable force in defense. This may not be enough units to get through it, so you may be thinking better of it. See how that goes. Monkey Lord has been spotted by some supply planes. Ooh, King Raptor offshore into the water. Keep an eye on where that goes. Monkey Lord doing anything of note yet. So King Raptor goes. A lot of units ashore though, so again, it's one of the things where like King Raptor is very useful, but you might get swarmed by the amount of units that's ashore there. So hanging out with those guys just for the moment. Looks like the Monkey Lord is coming south. Maybe he's going to help push these guys out right here. Oh, King Raptor's got his cannons up and is using them to deal with some of these anti-air defenses. Sticking out of the water a little bit right there. Hitting some of them, struggling with kind of that cliff edge there. Angles are a little strange, but taking a few of those air defenses out as he marches on. These guys are trying to push forward, but Sniper Bot is not going to allow that to happen. Looks like there was a little bit of push over here, but nothing too aggressive. Monkey Lord is just hanging out. Where's that King Raptor going? Hanging out offshore still. Yeah, took out some of those air defenses, but not in any substantial number. Guys are still just hanging out up there. Monkey Lord not advancing. Single hover tank trying to do something. Yeah, it's a T1 units where it gets wrecked. Fire coming in from some Serenities. AA gunship tune right there. But a lot of anti-air. Fire brace right there. Gunships are attacking that amphibious platoon. Here's the push is coming slowly, one at a time. Yeah, again, I think they're struggling to get through this kind of massive units right here. So it kind of forces them to come through one at a time. Which is, again, it's unusual for Loud. He'll normally, and you've kind of seen it, get his units grouped up together and attack in one large push. So this is just a bit of pathing issues coming through this gap right here, and with collisions with these units colliding with each other, so. But it does appear that Axel is going to be the aggressive one here. Pushing up. Seems like he is taking that position. A lot of casualties on both sides. But Axel's force has actually been decimated pretty substantially. But Monkey Lord is coming up to assist, so. There we go, there we go. Monkey Lord cutting away there. Anything of note on the southern islands? Does not appear so. King Raptor is willing to move somewhere else. We'll return to segment of the Monkey Lord. Watch him do his thing. Good kiting there, not letting those Serenities, little juking and jiving. Getting some Serenity fire, but again, doing a good job of staying out of range. Nothing there. I'm gonna take this King Raptor, I'm just kind of curious. I'm trying to attack the space up here, because that's lightly defended, so may be the right call. Monkey Lord is taking a decent amount of fire in the yellow. Takes a minute for that micro laser to get around. And looks like, oh, a couple Elias and an Eliash. Those will be very helpful down here to push back. Crafter continues his march to the north. And looks like Axel's got just a T2, T3 platoon there to help. Monkey Lord, 2/3 health, a little over probably. South is stalled still for the moment. Monkey Lord is falling back, probably get a little more health back. Looks like Xavier is deciding this is the moment he wants to try to assault, but again, kind of having trouble getting through this little gap here, so coming one at a time against this T3 platoon, not going to go well for him. It looks like he's getting some more units, but those that all attack together might be a little bit of a different story. But it will be a sizable fight nonetheless. Looks like they're all starting to get involved here. Pushing up, pushing up. A lot of T3 assault bots there on Xavier's side, so those will bring the pain for sure. Monkey Lord is coming up to support. Got Microwave Laser in there. Yeah, using his agility for an experimental to kind of stay off the flanks. What he should be doing. Great job, great job, great job. And yeah, unfortunately, there's a little too much fire there from Axel's platoon. I'm going to try and chase that Monkey Lord down. I think he will get away just fine. And it does appear that King Crafter is going to try and come ashore over here, so keep an eye on that. Not too much else again happening here on the southern island. And pulling back again. A lot of experimentals building up there. Monkey Lord just hanging out, doing his thing. And we'll see where are going. They're going all the way around. Alright. Keep an eye on that. Xavier's got another experimental online. And alright, here we are at the 6,000 unit mark, and we have dropped down to normal sync speed, so just a little foreshow there of how things kind of go. Oh, I missed this down here. Attempting to make some kind of assault. Don't know exactly what that formation is right there that he's using. But it does have the shields out up front, which is good. But looks like there's an Eliash coming down, and I do not think this guys, with all these defenses and the Eliash, will be able to break through, but we'll keep an eye on it. Yeah, there we go. Interesting. Pretty good sound effect from the Eliash there. All those lasers. Yeah, I'm gonna clean that up nicely. That Eliash not even really taking that much damage. Monkey Lord back in the green. Good for him. King Crafter is going to come ashore up here, though there are a lot of gunships. I don't think that's going to go well for him. Keep an eye on this excitement for now. But I think we all know how it's going to go, though. I will say the Eliash is taking a bit of fire. He's dropping into the yellow. And AI is going to push up or think better of it, or one of those two things. Monkey Lord is going to try to assault over here. Or at least whittle down some of those units down. A lot of T3 units there, though, so you gotta be careful. Serenities, Harveys, all kinds of exciting stuff. Oh, he's gonna sit outside of sensor range. I think just use those cannons from a distance. Crafter is coming ashore. T3 units in defense, gunships. Don't know if he's going to break through. Probably not, would be my guess. See how that resolves. Monkey Lord just kind of shoot a few units from distance. Good job on his part. These units have been driven off by that Eliash. And King Crafter is just kind of coming out. Gunships are coming in now, though, so that may be it for this King Crafter. There's a little more air superiority up here to assist. That may have gone a different direction, but Fierce Sword and Monkey Lord is getting more aggressive. Taking some of these guys out. So yeah, getting some of those Serenities down. And whittling these guys down as he kites away. Great job. King Crafter taking, yeah, tons of gunship fire. Gunships taking fire, that's for sure. I think it's the miasma field. Artillery fire coming in to assist. Race against time here on terms of who will win. I think it's going to be the gunships. Seem to have enough health still. Yeah, King Crafter is going to go down. Monkey Lord is falling back after doing some decent damage, getting knocked down in health though. And that is the state of play. So Loud still has sea control. Hasn't used it too effectively yet. Air control seems to, he's kind of stopped producing air, it seems like. And so, even though there's a gap in the middle, he hasn't taken too much advantage of it yet, trying to mostly just push amphibious units across. So the southern island is very well defended. A little push coming here. Well, not really coming, but sending artillery to death. Monkey Lord still doing its raid there. Anti-air on the Strat Bomber. Probably take that down. Yep, there it goes. And these Harbies are going to take some Monkey Lord fire. It's sad for them. I'm trying to push forward to deal with it, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. I mean, a decent amount of T3 units can take down. Yeah, he's dropping pretty quick. I guess the question is going to be how much DPS can he remove? And he's doing a good job of kiting. So, a lot of Strat Bombers there. Let's target that Monkey Lord. They can actually probably do some damage. Gunships coming down as well. On the southern island. Some units have been dropped, but just the amount of fire bases down here, so probably not going to cause too much damage. What are the Strat Bombers? Those could have probably taken out that Monkey Lord. Well, lost a few, but Loud had other plans for those. It hasn't done too much. Oh, it's got a Tempest going online, but again, I don't know how useful that's going to be for. It's got Sea Dominance. Bit of a waste of resources, in my humble opinion. He's already got one down here. Just got massive units right there. Trying to see what he's. I mean, he's spending his resources, yeah, on Tempests. Huge cluster of units in defense right there. Monkey Lord is healing up slowly. A sizable experimental platoon being formed there. Speech is well defended. Guys are trying to push up, but I do not think it's going to go their way. Another T3. Oh, we'll walk into the forest. And priority fighters. Phoenix, got an experimental unit. Something different than the Alliance she built previously. Go back in the base somewhere. Not seeing it immediately, but I'm sure it'll make an appearance. Oh, transport's going across right there. Where those end up going. Again, there is a bit of Air defense-wise, there's a bit of a gap here, so those could drop there, but didn't appear to be able to break through those defenses. So a little one-at-a-time push through that gap there is not being effective. Oh, the transports wanted to try to land here, and are just going to get swarmed. Yeah, it's not going to go well for them. Get over here. Ooh, I didn't even see that. He's got a sniper bot under the water there, so let's see what he does with that. He ends up trying to come ashore there. Oh, experimentals are on the move in the north. And we have 2 monkey lords down here in the south. Yeah, King Crafter and multiple supporting experimentals. Making an assault on this platoon over here, that should be more than enough to deal with that. Especially with supporting TP platoon down there. So we're not missing anything else exciting happening. That would be a no. Artillery fire inbound. Marines got dropped behind them. But those will be defeated quickly. Another monkey lord coming down. Swarm of rockets out from the Tricepticons. Pushing up with these units down here. Monkey lords are taking that southern position. But the main fight appears to be here. Tricepticons are launching a lot of rockets at those shield domes. We'll bring those down pretty quickly. That's a lot of deep guessing coming. King Raptors are firing. Got a Monkey Lord online as well. Soothsayer very close to the front. I'll help the things seen. Alright, pushing up with the experimentals. Experimentals falling back, taking a bit of fire, trying to lure some of the units down, it seems. They are doing a good job of that. Monkey Lords have cleared out these down here. Experimentals are doing a great job at whittling down this force. Monkey Lord joining the action as well. Oh no, one of those went down. Very sad, very sad. T3's pushing up to support. And we got another Universal Colossus coming down to help. Anything on the southern island? Some drops have gotten ashore, a little push going here, but again, a lot of defenses. Yeah, these guys are not going to make it ashore against that amount of units. Sniper bot and company are coming ashore there. Keep an eye on that. There are not a lot of defenses here to hold against this push. I mean, he's got his static defenses, a few of them maybe, and he's got, it's not a lot, that's for sure. He's building back here. Building a Paragon, maybe too little too late on defense there. Assault is ongoing. Sniper bot may cause some pain, especially with that experimental down there. And they have achieved victory here in the north. Got a breakthrough of that defensive line. This main base is wide open. Keep an eye on that. Down here in the south. T2 artillery trying to apply some fire. It's a lot of gunships, though. Sniper bot doing its thing. Some A in there, but not enough to make a difference, especially if struggling to get through that shield there. Alright, I'll take in T2 fire. See how this push goes up here. Monkey Lords are coming north to support. Just holding the line in the south, it seems, though there are some experimentals pushing up. It's like consolidating before pushing forward. Alright, here we go. Fight ongoing. And that should go the humans' way. Oh, these are going off to chase that transport. May have been more useful over here. Yeah, the Us is taking a heck of a pounding. A lot of these siege tanks. You can drop some more units in here. Okay, send them somewhere else. Oh, Stingbot is doing work. Northern push looks like it is beginning. Keep an eye on both of these. Stingbot may be about to take down that shield. Where the main action is going to be, though. And here they come. King Crafters, Triceptitrons, Universal Colossus, Monkey Lords, and a boatload of 2-3 units. Genesis Assault Tank. And I think that is going to be too much for this base to handle. Monkey Lord going wide. Taking out some of those mass points. Great job, great job. Commander is trying to defend, but I think he's going to go down pretty quickly. And there it is. Big boom. That is blinding. And Sniper Bot is down in the south. It's been taken out. Gunships are trying to deal with that push right there. Storm Strider coming on board as well. That is the firing line of experimentals pushing forward. Kill the remains of that base. And it's going to be all she wrote up there. That is for sure. Alright. Experimental platoon forming down here in the south. Be able to take out that southern base most likely. Trying to retake these mass points, but don't think that's going to go his way. And the game looks like it is going to be on the side of the humans. I will say there is... The southern island will be a little more difficult to assault because don't have the foothold that they had previously, so they're going to have to do a bit of an amphibious invasion to take this southernmost one. And you got to get through quite a few experimentals, and this is where these Tempests might come in handy on the defense. Need to redeploy them up to the north. That's going to work. Air superiority appears to be going the humans' way. Yeah, Plenty of fighters up in the north, plenty of fighters down here in the south. And Monkey Lords are coming down to assault the south. So a much better showing than was previously done by us in the first version of this game. I'm going to come down here and consolidate. These Monkey Lords going. If they head straight south, or deal with this over here first. Oh, Galactic Colossus coming up through the water over here. Be able to target that, no problem. Let's see if they have anything that can deal with this. Ooh, those gunships take a lot of fire over here. They're out of... No, there's still some AA. Oof. Going great. Assault underway of this firebase over here. Galactic Colossus... maybe in range, may not be in range, maybe doing something. But there is a sniper bot, so that sniper bot will bring the pain on that Colossus before he can do too much. And looks like the Monkey Lord's going to clear out the space over here just to make sure that nothing exciting happens. Got assault tanks already applying pressure on Xavier's southernmost base. He does have a naval base, but once I think that southernmost base goes down, he's going to be in trouble. Assault from T3 units from Phoenix coming down here on the left side of that island. Pushing up. Not able to break through there. Air battle underway. A lot of gunships also, but I think it's hard to say. We'll see who ends up winning this here. Gunships are applying pressure while the air battle goes on. Doesn't seem like there's a lot of AA. Again, still actually kind of hard to tell who's going to win that. Stash is being... Oh man, looks like that might go the AI's way, so... Still has these gunships and doesn't have a lot of AA, so got to be careful, though maybe too many units here for them to deal with. Galactic Colossus coming ashore. Sniper bot will probably be in range soon. A lot of gunships applying pressure already, so that pushes, and massive amount of T3s ashore here. That is not going to go well. The assault continues over here. Strat bombers coming in to apply some pressure. Probably is too little too late. Galactic Colossus is going down. Naval units offshore. Yeah, those guys are all going down. Southernmost base is under fire now. Getting significant naval air superiority in the southern channel for the humans. Not stopping them from trying to push some transports across, though. Not entirely sure what they're trying to do there. Alright, keep an eye on this assault over here. Experimentals are slowly getting into position. Oh man, did Trump drop a bunch of guys up here? Oh, those just transports. No, he did drop some units, so trying to retake his main base. Monkey Lord there in defense, though, so that probably will not happen. Attempting to counterattack through the pass right here. Stop these assault tanks from missiling from range. A few units in the water here. T3 platoon pushing down the southernmost side. Monkey Lord and friends are mostly dealing with this, but he is dropping even more units up here, still trying to retake this. So, but trying to get some T3 defenses online. He's got some units over there too. They don't make it easy, that is for sure. Elias pushing in. So coming from two directions. See that? It's that pathing around that corner there really that makes them struggle to, yeah, because you come in one at a time. Not exactly how you want, I think. A lot of Harbies there. Harbies without their shields? No, shields are charging. Can we use power? He's having power issues. Got it back. My shields are back online. If he lost power for a second and those shields dropped. I don't even know what happened there. Monkey Lord, just keeping the space safe. Just too many forces here for those Harbies to handle. Gunships are doing their thing. Using his air superiority where he can. Axel pushing his forces down now that they're here in position. Mega Roach coming to help the defense of that base there. Visitor into the water, gotta watch out for that. And making the assault towards the base here. Experimentals are in position, so that's gonna be going by pretty quickly. So one transport's going somewhere with a lot of units. They're gonna try and drop them back behind here. Figure that out. Main base defense is good. Oh, they dropped them right there. How about that? Stores are being taken down by some A that is in this platoon. Visitor still on the march. And here comes the big push. Line of experimentals coming in. And that is way too much for that base to handle, especially not being a main base. Had some defenses, but definitely not enough. Oop. Big boom there. Coming in with support from the left. That firing line of experimentals is a bit too much. And that base is gone. King Crafter and friends trying to push across underneath the waves. More bots there. More assaults there. So, gonna attempt a multi-front assault here though. But a bunch of blood asps here in defense from Andromeda. Did they see? Oh yeah, torp bombers doing applying some pressure here. See battleships. These guys end up getting ashore. And these are oh, Kingcrafter is coming out of the water, but there are gunships awaiting. Just waiting for that moment. Clearing off the last of those Xavier units from the northern island. His northern island. Those went down fast. Multiple sniper bots and Athu seals, and then the blood asp waiting these guys over here, so. Even if that Kingcrafter gets over there, yeah, there's still some torp bomber fire. Yeah, it's not gonna go well. These guys are. It's got some 3 Tempests out here. Those Tempests come in here and clear this. That would cause a potential problem, but I think the defenses on shore are still substantial. Number tank, sniper bot, a lot of T3s. So in here is going down. Keep an eye down here for now. crafter trying to come ashore. And he's taking sniper bot fire. Gunships are on him. And there's a lot of other stuff there waiting to just fly fire once he's in range. He's already passed down half up. Yep, Athazeel's already firing. And that is it for the King Crafter, and the rest of these units will get obliterated by those defenses. This Athazeel push over here is going to make it across. It's not intercepted by these Tempests. That could have gone very poorly for them. This push right here, Tempests are pushing up. I don't need to get in front of these guys, but these guys are out of the water, so they may actually be able to apply some damage. Behind this push over here, and this push over here. And so the King Crafter's applying fire from the land. Ow, Corvette pounding. Tempests are pushing in. Athazeel's coming onshore. Guys look like they're gearing up to push south. And this right here. I think that may, unless they have something up their sleeve, at least the water battle will go. Okay, but this is the big push over here. Blood Asps into one of the forward bases for Tanksy. Not much he's got in defense there. Tempests are there to apply lots of fire against these guys, in which they are doing. Ooh, that was... got an Awasa out. That will help as well. It's like, oh, they have something up their sleeve. Well, there's one right there. That'll help. Navy being pushed back. But again, I don't think these guys... Oh, we pulled these units back over here. Up them on transports. This base is getting obliterated. Nothing AI can do to stop that. Awasa doing its thing. Big booms. Navy Yard may go down, but these guys are not going to get ashore. GC fighting Yantutsa, which is going to go down. Gunships applying pressure. Yeah, those guys are getting hurt. And we got a push coming in here to the main base from these Blood Asps. Actually, the main base is over here, I think. Solid secondary base over here. A little heavier defended, though. Mothra defensive batteries, those are gonna get me some pain. Checking over here, and yep, those guys are going down. I actually sank one of those subs. Oh. Something went nuclear there. And gonna cause a lot of chain reactions here. That's a lot of Mothras though. Taking out these power plants, factories. We'll lose a lot of these Blood Asps in the process, but will cause a lot of damage that will be very hard to recover from. It's a while to build all these up. Blood Asp still doing work though, still taking stuff out. Just bypass that Mothra. And the blood asps have fallen, but not for doing a lot of work. So this forward assault here of this little beach has ended. I don't know where that Awasa went. Rolling around somewhere, I'm sure, doing cool guy things. And clearing out the last of Tanxie's units from that island. I'm sure we'll see more aggressive push starting here soon. Or later. Ooh, so I forgot there were these units over here. GC and that. This one. Eliash. I remember that Inquisitor is rolling around somewhere. Dealing with the remnants of Tanxie's forces in the north. No match for the Eliash power. That will be all she wrote for those guys. Decent little force here. I don't think we can try and attack this beachhead again, but Rhaegar has decidedly fortified that. And looks like we got another experimental push amphibious-wise coming across. Oh, they actually managed to take out one of those alliances. Oh, this guy escaped by the skin of his teeth. Sorry we missed that. So, again, yeah, some of those T3.5 units can bring a lot of pain to experimentals. They're not, again, a end-all be-all of winning. Tempest here will intercept. Torpedo bombers are trying to do something, but Tempest is going to be a bit difficult. Experimentals hanging out there in that center little pond. Gargantua air transport. I don't know what he's carrying, or will carry, but something. Keep an eye on this platoon over here, see where that ends up going. Try to drop some units here, but to no good effect. Tempests have not done too much damage to this assault force coming across. Naval force building up over here. Bombers are having their way slowly with those Tempests, and looks like Stash is pushing his experimentals across. Pretty big gap right there, so let's move some of these guys to intercept, which I don't actually think those have torpedoes. Some of them do. Be able to do too much. Let's try to rebuild the space here, but haven't done too much yet. Getting his experimentals ashore. Assault tanks down there at the bottom. Gotta watch out, the Tempests are moving up to intercept. And looks like they are all crossing now. Gunships can't do too much to those. Tempests moving around. And this force is on shore. And a large amount of air transports coming to bring some support commanders and other units. Naval battle, well, not really naval battle, but means there. What are you guys doing? Hanging out? Not much yet. So establishing a beachhead over here. It's funny how they drop them in like the shape of the transports. I don't know if I ever noticed that before. Sank the majority of those Tempests over there, which means that these ones will probably go down next. Assembling a defensive force. Naval force hanging out. Got these mobile shield generators in front, which is smart. This amphibious bombs are getting torped. This push is building. Tempests are going down. These guys are almost across. Keep an eye on both of these, all down here. I don't know where he's going with these, but maybe Mac build here? We'll find out. Blood Asp. Hanging out. And looks like this push is coming very quickly. I didn't even realize this stash should actually push some planes down here. Square shield up over here, so solid defenses, but this may be the end for the old AI. Navy engaging that Navy, but from behind the safety of the shields. Holding just offshore. I'll gather the forces and attack as one. Oh, the Sea Dragon right there. I didn't see that. Naval battle ongoing still. Cruisers taking. Need to get back on the shields. Too late. And the push is coming down here from Blood Asps. He's got some experimentals in defense, but of the smaller variety, Marudos are not going to be able to stand up to those Blood Asps. Actually, all of them. Sea Dragon launching some stuff offshore. Monkey Lords are pushing up. And here comes the old experimental push. That will deal with those guys. And it cannot withstand that amount of firepower. To quote Admiral Akbar, shields can't withstand firepower of that magnitude. Reference there for you. And down here, another push ongoing. Nothing that can possibly withstand it. After seals, blood asps all together. With some T3s in defense, and it is not going to be enough. Naval battle was actually lost. I mean, still some sub hunters there. There's too much firepower there, it appears. These guys are pushing up towards the main base, and although well defended, this amount of firepower, maybe too much. That's down there. Let's see how it goes. Sea Dragons and these hover tanks are dealing with that fleet. The Xavier's finest hour may be over. Torp bombers trying to come in, but there's a lot of A there. There's two torp bombers, so I don't think it's gonna go great. Guys going behind you there, you don't want to take that. Fire base there is under fire. Going down. I didn't realize that they're kind of shooting over the edge there. Oh. Tash is dropping his actual commander right there. Or maybe. Let's see. Space is under fire. Never got quite fully repaired. And here's that may be sufficient. Main base about to be assaulted. Annusons should, maybe, possibly. That's Blood S coming in support. Be able to deal with that. Alright, a lot of shields, but again, do not think it will be sufficient to deal with the amount of stuff coming in. Loud is very good at putting up a global matrix, but you throw enough DPS at it and it's going to collapse. Yeah, just like that. And from all ways, all sides. One Monkey Lord went down, which makes me sad. Love my Monkey Lords. A lot of units in amongst there, that's for sure. A little bit of lag. This base has been obliterated. Navy's going down. Come back over here real quick. Oh, some of these, I mean, again, they are putting a lot of fire. Like, again, this is a well-defended base. This is a huge amount of stuff attacking, and yet they are able to take out a lot of these experimentals in the process. Definitely kind of need these. Oh, these guys got hurt a bit, but then push back up and help. One actually coming from behind. I mean, even if they manage to stall this attack, it's over. Too much has been killed here, and there's too much coming still. And Lucky Lords are coming back in. Spare shield back up for a moment. Southern base is destroyed. Again, that was impressive. That was a lot of experimentals attacking right there, and they were not able to fully break through that defense. So, again, Loud got the defense when he needs it. But fresh wave coming here of assault tanks, Athos and Blood Asps should be enough to finish this off. Assault tanks are going to take a bit of a pounding, but it's the end game. Mega Roach still out there, applying fire. And there goes a big boom. That will take out a lot of the stuff in the center there. And another wave of experimentals coming in. Don't think there's going to be much in here. It's all said and done. That is the end of that base. Not really sure what else is. I mean, there's Tempest down there. So, usually play a version called Advanced Assassination, so that basically means it's all the commanders and all the support commanders. So there's essentially some, yeah, that's the one right there, some support commanders rolling around that we'll need to deal with. No firebase down there dealing with, but that is basically going to be it. Maybe we'll, is there a commander hiding in there? I don't see one. Nope, there's one down here. Those guys will just have to basically deal with that, but that was a well-fought game. I thought they really were gonna, very early on take out Xavier up here, but he managed to do a great job holding the line and then harassing them back here. His, teammate Tanksy down here was dropping all kinds of stuff, dropping off stuff up here to support him, assaulting from the beaches, made it very difficult. At one point, they actually overran Andromeda's base down here. I remember that at the start of the game. So it was that was a fun one to watch and commentate on. So hope you guys have enjoyed it as well. Yeah, again, if you enjoy the video, throw a like, throw a subscribe, put more of this content up for you. Watch these guys just try and deal with the remnants of what's left here. don't know if they have anything enough to deal with it, like commander from the water, so a few torp bombers. But yeah, Loud Mod. Can't recommend it enough. Work of passion from Sprouto and his team over there on their Discord, and they have done some excellent work. Was dropped in Discord that there's another update coming. So one of the things you may have seen here was, I mean, at times the AI would just kind of be holding his units back, even though he had superiority forces. So I have heard from Sprouto in the Discord that there is an update coming that will make the AI a little more aggressive and effective when he's got kind of some of those forces. So it really could change the balance of power, and also make him a little more aggressive with the airdrops and some of those weaker stuff in the back. So I'm excited for that. Hopefully we'll get some of those games up for you when they come. Looks like that commander is finally taking the torp bombers. One down here they'll have to deal with. Let's see if I can get down there and finish him off. Okay, I guess we get this one. So Loud held naval control for essentially the entire game. Even right now, he kind of has naval control. He lost air control, but humans, there it goes, and there's the victory screen. So humans are able to do it though with a combination of air and amphibious units, and as well as a well-timed early push with transports onto the opponent's island. So that is the game. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one.